will be on Entombed Valley. Let's do this.
Excellent. Well, spawning up here in the top left, it is none other than TSL.Polt playing as the Red Terran. And guess what, ladies and gents? In the bottom of the map, we have another Terran, and that is going to be OGS Top. No longer OGS, actually. Is he sponsored by somebody now?
No, he's a
bit of a free agent. He's a free agent because OGS, of course, sadly disbanded not too long ago.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't play for anybody. I'd be widely surprised if he did. I mean, Top's been a guy that fell off the radar a lot recently, and yeah, he doesn't play for anybody at the moment. So,
well, I feel like a lot of the OGS players. I mean, Supernova as well isn't sponsored right now. The OGS mix-up actually put a lot of people in tough spots.
And you know, Top is a guy that can, or recently has started to show the same results he used to be. Because this guy used to be one of the best Terrans. I think he was like a semi-finalist or finalist of a GSL back in the day. My memories off the top of my head is a little bit rough.
He's certainly been in Codas, of that I'm sure.
Oh, well, I'm definitely sure of that. I'm pretty sure he was like, he won Code A back in the day, and he was a semi-finalist. That's right, semi-finalist. It's no finalist. Look at that. It was a finalist on August. Looking at some stats there, so he was a semi-finalist. Sorry. So you know, this guy used to be the bomb. He used to be one of the best Terran players that OGS had and the Korean scene had, and then he just fell off the scene. He just started losing. He wasn't getting the same results. And I guess, you know, that happens to players in a new game where the metagame changes so often. Maps change, playstyle changes, strategies change, and unless you're on top of the ball, you don't. You know, you start.
It certainly is. It's so demanding to be a pro, especially in the Korean scene, because not only do your mechanics have to be crisp and perfect, and your ability to control your units, ability to read the game, ability to read your opponent, fantastic, yes, but also your ability to adapt to the scene and to the changing metagame that's changing on a daily basis. Fun times. There's so much that is asked of you to be performing at the top, and sometimes, you know, you hit that slump where you're just not able to quite keep that up.
And Terran versus Terran is something that really does emphasize that kind of skill level, because it is all about position. It's about scouting. I think that to kind of understand Terran versus Terran, the two things that you need to do in the matchup and understand to watch and enjoy is, first of all, scouting. And it's more emphasized, or I guess number one should be position backed up by scouting, because let's, for example, you take a third base on this map. For example, let's say Top takes his third base, but doesn't have any marine, any supply depot, any SCV, anything on the right hand side that can scout if a tank marine push is coming, and then all of a sudden he gets sieged up upon and he can't break that. You know, that's pretty much GG. So the position is invaluable in this matchup, but likewise is the scouting to actually see if anybody will take that kind of position on you.
And speaking about that, we do have, I mean, Top tried to get into Polt's base to scout and figure out what his opponent was up to, but was denied by the wall. But he still goes ahead with his build that he had planned, obviously, because he's still going with that natural expand. You know, throwing his expansion right down on the natural, too, not even carrying it, whether Polt sees it or not. What do you make of this? Is this perhaps playing to the player, or is it just the natural tendency of Terrans these days right now?
It's definitely just the matchup, really. I mean, if there's going to be any early aggression, it's like some weird barracks play, which, if you have a bunker down, you just build you get SCVs, you repair it, and it's usually dealt with. But what we're actually seeing from both of these guys is double gas straight away, and what they'll look to do is most likely scan just past the 6-minute mark. And just past the 6-minute mark, they'll scan in the main, they'll see the double gases, they'll see the extra barracks, or they'll see factory, starport, something along those lines. So to basically answer your question is, they're both playing exactly the same, and scanning information is not actually required early on.
So you're lying to us?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, in any
it's all
case,
about the scan at 6 minutes.
It is going to be at the scan.
The next set of energy that both of these guys have.
I know.
Because both of these will actually scan each other, and Top will scan the main and see, oh great, there is a second barracks and a later factory right normal play. And then his opponent will scan and see nothing but double gases, and will be like, oh okay, now it's called Banshee. And that's what we're looking for basically with the next 10 energy or so.
And we shall see if they actually make that call. We do have mules being called down. Polt about to get enough energy for his scan. He's only 3 ticks away. And actually Top pretty much on the money as well. We do have a bit of a Polt making a poke up at his enemy's base, not really able to catch anything, apart from the fact that he does see that his opponent has expanded. And so he has to be thinking, okay, you're kind of going along the lines here. But do we actually see a scan go down for any of these guys?
Top didn't scan. Polt saving energy. Neither of them are actually scanned yet, so both of them are playing quite blind, and this could hurt Polt if he doesn't scan. because he won't, and it actually hurts both of them if they don't scan. They need to scan. It's very greedy if you don't scan. But what Polt may be doing is saying, all right, I'm going to save that energy. Ow, actually, we see a scan come down from top. Coming down just a little bit later, and we see his very normal play. And so he doesn't really need to react to anything. It's completely normal. And there's the actual counter scan there from.
He actually makes out the factory up there. I believe he's going to be able to see the factory.
So
not the
seeing the factory and seeing a late secondary add-on here means that, of course, Cloak Banshee's coming. So immediately he'll just throw down a turret and we'll start to prepare. Oh, actually doesn't have an engineering bay yet.
But so he's already sending the Marines down there to the bottom corner. Yeah. So the obvious trajectory that Banshee would take is already going to be denied him by those Marines.
Yeah, so a little bit of a later scan there by both players, but basically get off the same thing that we were talking about. And with Viking Marines out, energy saved up before turrets are available, this Cloak Banshee rush, you could say from top, isn't really looking to do anything. Actually nothing. And that cloak could be very well wasted.
Now, where does this put top then? You know, seeing as how he will get off virtually no damage if, you know, Polt's defense is up to snuff. Where does this leave him in the match? Does that investment does that investment cost him as heavily as it should?
Yeah, it puts him quite far behind. For example, Stim is just now starting compared to Stim is now finished, and that kind of money could have been spent elsewhere. The first cloak comes in, he needs to do damage. Marines can die, and that will help. But a scan is available. Marines at turret range.
Oh, he is in turret range. He's getting herded back into it as well. The Marines are in position, and that Banshee doesn't do anything at all.
Yeah, so he's quite far behind at the moment. A second Banshee's going to come in.
I shall avenge my brethren. And does he make it happen for himself? Not a single Marine goes down. There's one. Yeah. So this was not a complete waste.
Scan is available. But he's got to be smart with the scan. Cannot just throw a scan down with a single Viking.
Yeah, Vikings don't have machine guns. They take a pretty long time to attack. But I mean, that we still have this pretty big opening for our window.
Base, though. That's the thing you've got to think about. Despite that like opening, put him behind. He had a third base.
But do you think he's going to take advantage of this window that he has? Perhaps knowing that because he went Banshees, he's not going to have Stim as quickly. Polt has Stim. He's going to take advantage of this or not? Do you think?
And siege mode. Yeah, that's why he's walking across the map. He says, "Right, well, now I know you're behind. You did no damage. I have tanks. I have Marines. I have Stim and siege. What do you have?" And that's what that scan means.
You got two tanks and a bunker.
You got 2 tanks and a handful of Marines. I'm guessing you don't have Stim or siege. This is gonna hurt.
Fantastic. Well, we do have the Banshee going over to Polt's base, trying desperately to buy some time, just to see if he can pull Polt out of position. We'll see if that actually happens, though. The bunker gets annihilated before it can be salvaged, so 75 minerals lost there. 100 minerals, actually, but the Stim push comes in. SCVs pulled off the line. The tank's not even able to siege, but so much damage being done to those SCVs, and quite a few lost. But you wouldn't say that that's worth it.
Well, I mean, not really, considering there's a third command center down. Of course, Polt doesn't know if there's a third. Oh, he does actually see the third command center. Sorry. Hold that thought, though. The Banshee on the natural.
Doesn't quite make it.
Falls down, unfortunately. But no, he only killed a tank, and he threw about 16 plus Marines away. There's a third command center already down, and Top will crawl back into this game, despite falling behind a little bit in the early stages, without taking any significant loss from the tech advantage that the lack of Banshees did. And then with the third base powering away in terms of SCVs that he can easily replenish, he lost. Well, actually, I don't really notice that.
That's quite a few. I mean, he bum rushed Polt with those SCVs, and they just got chewed up. So, yeah, I mean, I was like, that's a lot of SCVs dying right now.
I actually didn't really notice that. 15 SCVs did go down, so that actually, it hurts a lot. But as you can see, the supply is relatively equal, if not in favor of Top.
And
so
the army
it still didn't do enough damage. That third command set has basically recovered those 15 SCVs already with mules and with the third set of production available. So right now, both of these guys are very equal in this game for sure.
And in the meantime, do we have Polt's third base wrapping up there in the bottom of his map, just below his main? Yes, it is. So morphing, but it will be done shortly, so they should be able to get into position here. Nice barracks production here, though. Getting those production facilities, the infrastructure that is so key in progression in this matchup. We shall see.
And another factory been added on. One thing for Polt in that attack, he only lost Marines, didn't lose his tanks, which means his tank counts very
Marines,
high
50 minerals. What's up, man? They're pretty cheap.
But look at the presence that Polt has on the map already. Zelnovi Tower, Marine on the left-hand side. It's building the 4th command center already. We have a loose Banshee in the bottom right for Top as well, somehow still there. But so far, so good for both of these guys. With this new command center coming down, basically that's Polt saying, well, let's just build another command center that didn't go as well as it should have. There is a third base down, and just trying to get a little bit ahead of his opponent, taking a bit of cutting the corners per se, instead of building a lot of units, he adds on another command center instead. But both of these guys, it's very difficult to actually push out. You have to get sneaky tactics to get position on your opponent, especially when your opponent adds in a sensor tower like that.
And something to note as well is that Polt is ahead in upgrades. And so he will once again have a little bit of an opening to do some pretty decent damage to his opponent, seeing as how his Marines are going to be hitting harder.
Miss of the Banshee.
Wow, that's a little bit of a shame.
That's true. The upgrade advantage will play. I mean, it'll be 2-2 versus 1-1 if he keeps up, which he does have an armory for, so it should be able to keep up. We won't see any engagements anytime soon, though, that's for sure. Very surprised that Top isn't building a new command center. Like, at this position right now, he's building an army to attack. And without a fourth command center going down, he's only thinking about attack. There's the fourth command center coming down, sorry, as I say that. So he's not just going to dedicate fully to an army. He will have something behind. But he does have a bigger army. In terms of our army value right now, it's relatively close. The tank count is 6 to 7. 7 for Polt, sorry. Marines 10 in the lead here for Top, but that isn't that big of a difference at the moment. It's still all about position.
Well, we're always saying this is those small advantages. Oh, nice job with the Banshee. So the Banshee actually going to be doing a bit of work, and perhaps will pay for itself eventually if it does manage to snipe the command center. But the Marines will get up here and get rid of it. But very nicely done there. But we're seeing a little bit of those small advantages come into play, like that tank getting sniped early on. You know, so it's just like that one tank advantage. But knowing these two players, they are such phenomenal Terran. I don't know how to say maestros. Yeah, we'll say maestros because that sounds cool.
Is so cool, man.
Yeah, it's all going to come down to it.
Polt's looking on position. He's looking for position down here. This is a weakness of Top right now. There's only one Marine scouting, and one Marine is going to get shot down. And if Polt manages to get position on this fourth base, it cannot be taken.
And he
while
has
his
as
own
well.
is there, exactly. And he can even go the full distance and get position on the third. It's not going to be allowed. Top does siege up in time to deny position on the third, but he gets it on the fourth, which is just as important.
This is fantastic play here by Polt. We'll see what Top's answer to this is.
I mean, he
wants to take the high ground. Yeah,
he's got the Viking lead, which helps out. So Polt, even though has good position, he's actually got position on the command center too. Does not want to have a cancel on that, to be honest. Even though there is another one there, we will see Top take the high ground, or has to take the high ground, I think. But he's got to be careful of scans, of course. I'm wondering if the Vikings just go in and snipe the medivacs. He could definitely run in and try to jab in there if the medivacs are at the front.
Well, I think he noticed that there is a little bit, a little bit of a counter push coming up here. Sandwich move by Polt. Oh, wow. Top actually just stimming forward, going to go ahead and get a few Marine kills here. Polt being forced back.
You could go snipe the planet.
And this is exactly it. Yeah, he's got a good pack of Marines there with no tanks or Marines there to defend the fourth base.
The tanks are coming down to prevent any snipes.
Will Top get there in time, though? He could catch those out of position. He did scan. Not quite. Denied just at the last moment.
Go back, Polt. Go back. Okay, good. Don't go in. Don't go in. Even though you got upgrades, you don't want to go in, you've got less units.
Ballsy player.
And Polt's now leaving this fourth base. I'd be surprised. I'm wondering if he's just going to completely give it up. I think it's a waste to completely give up that strong position. I understand he doesn't have Vikings, which does kind of hurt.
I think perhaps he's worried exactly about this.
He's scanned, he knows. Oh, Polt's out of position.
The siege comes in.
What a sick scan. This is so cool. This matchup is so sick. But Polt,
the sandwich. But his tanks are out of play. His tanks are not in position. They cannot support the Marines. And the tanks from Top just landing hit after hit on Polt's Marines, going to completely almost annihilate them down to 4.
But he only lost Marines there, and he does have a bigger income, which means he can replenish them easily. There's no fourth base down for Top, so even though Polt takes a big hit in terms of army loss and unit efficiency, he's behind a lot in resources, I suppose, in that engagement for sure. But he does have the money to replenish it. With new command centers coming on the way, going to be all orbital commands, lots of orbitals actually down for Polt, lots of mules, low SCVs, almost 10 SCVs difference between these guys. He can start to sack them later on as well. But without a fourth base being saturated for the Top, he is falling short of the mark in terms of economy.
And that is a bit of a shame. Mules are good. Oh, he's got to be so very careful. He might actually lose all these siege tanks. The Marines moving in and sniping them down one after the other. Some support coming in from Top siege tanks, but not quite in range.
And drop them on top would be the best. But there are a squad of Marines coming to help them out.
So losing some siege tanks. I wonder what the total count is up to now, seeing as how Top does have this very nice position here between the two.
Yeah, let's have a look.
15.
52 Marines for Polt, man. His economy is kicking ass. It's... that fourth base still not saturated for Top. It's still not done. but he does have a high tank count, of course. Stimming in, he's got no attacks, he's got nothing, just
nothing is sieged. He needs to move in. Can he get in there? Yes, he will. Tank after tank is falling for top. Those upgrades, well, no, they're even right now, but still, 3-3 will kick in eventually here, but losing all of those tanks is such a massive blow to Top's army.
That's
and
like
check it out.
I mean, for Zoo players, it's like losing all your Infestors. For Protoss players, like losing all your Sentries in this matchup. That takes a long time to replenish. So you only need 2 factories, and Polt has such a commanding position now because of that. That was... I can't believe he was just sitting there on siege everything. And I was like, siege up, siege up!
It's those split-second decisions, man. It can come down to just that.
It's so crucial, because Marines are so fast, and with Stim, it's such a crucial little matchup here. 4th base now saturated for Top for the first time in this game. 5th base about to go up, but likewise for Polt here.
We got circles across the map.
He's got position everywhere, though. I mean, if you think about it, he's got position with his Zelnoga tower everywhere. He's about to lose it by the looks of it, but in Polt's vision, it looks healthier compared to Top, who's just in the back.
Well, they're so dead even on supply, although as I say that, Polt gets hammered by those siege tanks, but he looks like he's just willing to trade. He's like, okay, we'll get the Marines out of the way. He does have the... Oh, no, it just wrapped up. No, he does have the upgrade advantage, as I say that.
Not quite enough Marines, though, and less medevacs, so I guess that makes sense for him. But once again, he will start to crawl down to his 4th base.
Thinning the ranks.
Yeah, he's going to go to that 4th base, absolutely. He's got position, his opponent sees his movement, so can easily counteract it. So that maybe I guess Polt won't go for it since he can be counteracted.
No, those sensor towers.
Sensor towers are crucial.
Yeah, he's just able to completely keep an eye on Polt and just be aware of all of his movements throughout the map here. But for the time being, it looks like Polt's just content to plug away. He is working on +3 for his tank as well, so they'll be hitting like tanks. And for the time being, things looking fairly good here.
Yeah, Polt's got a good position again. I mean, Top has to engage this, and it's really difficult against +2 tanks.
Into a choke as well, not a lot of surface area to deal with here.
How many tanks Polt has?
That's insane.
He's just looked after them better. He's just looked after them better. And now he has a superior lead. This command center is going to float to its death. Like, he can just stim and kill it in a minute. I don't know what's going on. Look at him, he stims and kills it. What was that? What was that? What was that? What was that?
Top blowing Apollo's mind. Apollo starts hammering his head into the desk.
I was kind of half serious, half joking. I'm like, you just still kill that.
Dude, I love the nervous giggle where you're just like, I don't know what's going on. Why is he doing this?
Polt is just in such a good position here. I mean, Top he's built Vikings and he's had air dominance, but Polt doesn't give a damn. He hasn't built a single Viking. He's just been moving around all the time. He doesn't care about losing. He scans so frequently because of all the orbitals he's got, not just for mules here. Remember,
he's even throwing defensive planetaries down. I mean,
we have a hit squad of Marines,
and they will be making their way over here.
Oh no!
Wow!
Base is in so much trouble, man.
And the thing is that Top, I think he spotted it. Yes, with that sensor tower, he did see it. But the thing is that, okay, all these Marines are going to be pulled out of position. What is Top going to do at the front door?
He got Top's Polt can unsiege and stim it and kill it.
Yeah, exactly. And that is exactly what he does. Inches forward, small group of Marines sniping the tank on the high ground.
Polt is
so brutal.
To be honest, I mean, I hate to call one side to the other, like in terms of outclassing, but Polt is showing superior play here. Top's made mistakes. Polt has capitalized. And I love, by the way, for anybody who did notice that the building armor and high sec auto tracking, was researched, basically to make the planetary fortress unbreakable, because they have now a bigger range and also more armor. So
crazy.
It's pretty sick, and they're not going to be broken down anytime soon. And this squad of Marines by Top is about to get sandwiched. They have good upgrades, but there's tanks here from Polt, and even Marines behind.
The Marines coming in from behind, although that is quite a few. +3 tanks. Oh, look at that. Just obliterating the Marines. But the Marines are making their way back behind. He's going to snap the medevacs as well. He still saves some tanks, but not really an issue for Polt.
I guess Top's just going to go for like one sneaky movement out here.
He's got it. He's got it.
The tanks brings the health down a little bit, but this is it.
This is probably the nail in the coffin right here we're looking at, because Polt is just sitting pretty in supply as well. They were so even for the longest time throughout this match, but now we see the difference. Polt sitting comfortably at 179, and Polt and Top, man.
The 3 reasons for getting orbitals: 1, money; 2, scans; 3, repairs.
No, hey, 4, smack talk.
4,
dropping them mules. Hey,
forgot about that one. Madam Mules, orbital commands. And they can fly, man. It's like the
dude.
best unit. They fly.
It's like the WS Sweden yesterday, Bobson. He got like got so angry because he lost to this diamond player, and so when he smashed this poor diamond player the next game, he was dropping mana mules everywhere and dancing his marines. I was like, wow, this guy is angry right now. This is ridiculous.
And this is just completely one-sided here for Polt. And well, what can we say, guys? Look at this now. Polt just has submission on his opponent. It's very difficult to get out of this position now, because as soon as he tries, he's going to get sieged upon. The only way he can get out of this if he goes around the right-hand side. And, you know, then he basically gives away his main and natural to be taken. And, you know, Polt can easily do that, and he will. He's got so many scans and
it's just a matter of time.
Everything.
He's taken almost the entire map. It looks like Polt is playing a Zerg race right now. He's just got bases everywhere, units everywhere.
Yeah, but, I mean, the economy still is okay for top. You know, he has got his bases down.
And he has narrowed the gap as far. I mean, they're both maxed now, so he has been able to close that gap and bring more marines and tanks into play.
Yeah, but look at the money in the bank for Polt here. What Polt ideally should do is just drop this base. I'm not sure why he hasn't done that in the bottom right hand side, to be honest. He's breaking the rocks down. He may just actually come up and go around. Because if he starts to put... He's got submission on the main and natural, but if he puts it on the later expansions, which he's actually using his tanks now to cover the ramp to do so by the looks of it. And
they are sieging up. Okay, here we go. Top going in. And we do have the engagement. Polt has got quite a few marines. The tanks are in a decent position, but there are more tanks for top, and that upgrade advantage has been closed. They're both hitting at the same strength now, and it looks like Polt is actually going to lose the entirety of that army.
Yeah, Polt has a lot of money to be able to reinforce compared to his opponent, who's very starved of gas, and surprisingly hasn't taken the gases even on his fourth base.
He's not taking gases anywhere.
Fifth base, and you know that would help out his tank production. Of course, he's very marine heavy at the moment, but of course he wants to be able to continue to build tanks, medivacs, and so on. But he does have a lot of medivacs, and Polt did manage to escape with 3. This little submission on the main and natural will be broken down. Top can easily break this down now. He has more than enough to do so, and he keeps his bases alive here. And like I said, I'm very surprised that Polt isn't trying to drop these back bases. They're undefended, there's no sensor towers, there's no turrets. Polt keeping the submission or making it harder now outside the natural.
Just poking and prodding, trying to find a weak opening here. I mean, we do have Top making his way around on the right flank here, seeing if he can't get in position to put Polt in a bit of a chokehold, and Polt spots it. Trying to make his way forward with a small group of marines, but definitely not enough to contest this movement here. They're so very even, however. Polt actually falling a little bit behind in the tanks, you know, by 3.
But he's about to lose, well, give position basically on his expansions here. That's what the reinforcing units. Great, Polt can always reinforce the same amount of army, but he's got a time window where he doesn't have that, and Top's taken full advantage of that.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, God,
forcing a cancel. Forcing a cancel on one orbital, and this is the thing that is so very demanding about this matchup. One slip up, even if your head can put you behind once again.
And now, you know, now Polt can't really break this. He can sandwich this off and corner this off, so it can't actually escape. But these bases are very much exposed. A couple of tanks will start raining down on the planetary fortresses, which we're seeing already.
And Top, in the meantime, is taking the bottom right expansion, so really evening it up the tables here.
And we do have +2 plating coming out for him here. And that seems to be like just for the medivacs, actually. I don't think he'll... Well, I guess he can go over to late game Brutal... not Brutal, sorry, god damn it. Battle Cruisers and so on. But right now we do have Polt stimming in, taking a lot of damage from these tanks, but will be able to clean this up. Polt, with a very nice cleanup, keeps the bases alive.
Good control as well.
Does lose SCVs though. Loses a few SCVs, of course, but...
Well, I mean, he's sitting on 5,000 minerals and 2,000 gas. I mean, it's not too much of a concern, I suppose, if he loses some SCVs. That actually frees up more space for army supply, perhaps. But for the time being, Polt's still looking good. You know, good defense there, not losing his bases and not losing too many SCVs, and that was crucial. Had he lost any of these expansions, all of a sudden the tables would have been turned and Top would have been sitting on top.
I mean, even though Polt's got slightly better position over his opponent and so on, the game is relatively equal. They have, you know, roughly the same money in the bank, not quite the same, but they have a lot of money in the bank. They have equal amounts of bases, but Polt is the guy with a little advantage in terms of position.
Oh, no! Oh, good siege that time.
Yeah, nice scan. Always got to scan ahead of you, otherwise you will lose your siege tanks, basically, and Polt has to be so careful trying to get back down to these bases. We're using the medivac for scouting. He's given up on Vikings smartly, because he realized they weren't really helping him at all.
Here we are, they're sieging up. Tanks, Marines a little bit out of position there, but not too bad.
Yeah, and Polt's slowly edging towards these bases here. He still could have dropped these bases. I guess there's planetary fortresses there, which would have helped out a lot, but there's still areas where there's no planetary fortress range. that south 7 o'clock base. But now with the tanks there, he will get into the mineral line. Finally, Polt gets position on his opponent's income, and he's been waiting that for a very long time, and he's got the contain still.
Although we do have a pretty big force here moving up towards the natural, but there is a tank line sitting there from Polt just waiting for this sort of thing to happen.
Oh.
SCV is being sacrificed as, invested Terrans, as you would say, but this containment force is just going to disappear.
Yeah, he breaks through for the first time here. Top annihilates that broken line, but at the same time, though he breaks through that, he's losing his economy. So Top now is pushed into a situation where he can run across the map and do so much damage, but he gives up absolutely everything. He gives up another base. He gives up the 6 o'clock base. He can give up all his production. Is he going to continue through this?
He looks committed. He looks committed. He looks like he wants to make this happen. The planetaries are waiting, though, and even the lone SCV getting the repair off. I'm sorry, buddy.
A lot of damage to these Marines, but they do power through. Another planetary is waiting, and Top is losing everything. But he's not just losing his army, he's losing everything at home.
Yeah, this is so brutal. It's really turned into the who has got. This is a game of chicken. They're just going to it. And Polt, setting up lines of defense where he can, trying to delay this as much as possible. He still has a great force going to work on Top's base, and all of those siege tanks as well. It's going to make it near impossible for Top to defend. Top just has to make something happen here, but he's only got tanks left.
He has to get to the production. If he doesn't get to the production, 30 Marines and 3 tanks will consistently be out, because Polt has the economy across the map, and unless Top's taking the natural is no use. He slows down the tank production, which helps a little bit here, but there's so many Marines that can be made from the main base still, and that's going to be the...
He will be overwhelmed eventually. Yeah. This force at the bottom of the ramp will be overwhelmed.
Look at the money in the bank. Top has no money. No money left now because he's given up all of his economy for position on a natural, which doesn't mean as much as it may seem.
We'll see how things turn out. If he can eventually make that push up the ramp.
Polt just comes back.
Yeah, Polt is just sitting there though.
And then goes in with the new one he's making in the main.
Sandwich.
He gets sandwiched and it's over. Yeah. I think that decision from Top may have not. I mean, it could have gone better maybe if he'd broken the main.
If he'd been able to make it in, but those 2 planetaries making a world of difference, actually slowing it down and actually doing quite heavy damage to those Marines.
Yeah. And
it looks like,
other bases.
Yeah, Polt is just like, okay, well...
But he knows if he goes to the other bases and Polt is consistently scanning that army, he knows that he'll just come down, he'll break his ramp, and then all of a sudden, hell is unleashed once again. So Top is caught and he's stuck there, basically. Go kill the expansions, you lose position, and he's building another army. He's basically got another army from the resources he has left over. Planetary.
But this is going to be the end, yeah. This is going to be the end of it. That planetary will die, and now Polt is free to make his way back, although... He could, look at this.
There's a sensor tower, which helps out Polt.
He sees it coming. Can he get his tanks in position to nail it, though? That's the thing. They're making their way down the ramp. They need to siege up, and it doesn't look like they'll make it quite in time. There we go. But at the same time, now he is kind of caught.
Yeah. Polt's caught. Polt can't really move out. I mean, he can as soon as he sees the movement of the army, which he does.
He does see
So
it.
he'll unsiege and start to move across now, but a trap could be set here by Top. He could easily just wait and then turn around and stim, but he is going to start to go towards these expansions. But
yeah.
Look how much money in the bank. Even if Polt loses these expansions now, there's still 6,000 minerals in the bank.
There's no income whatsoever, pardon me, for Top. And so he's stuck at 57 minerals, and that's not going to get any better. Polt actually making his way out now, and just trying to break this contain.
He knows, he scans it, he knows there's a little possible trap being set up there by Top, and Polt's keeping everything very tight, locked up here. And there's a bunch of Marines.
He's going to engage it. Top is going to engage, however, and he is trying to break this army. He sees that the siege tanks are vulnerable, doesn't even bother sieging up his. But it's not going to happen. This is
like Squadron 1 of 6 for Polt, and he doesn't even kill this, basically. I mean, he does, but he loses a lot. And Polt has escaped from the main base with medevac help support, and now has broken the main base.
And there it is, the GG, and that is going to be Game 1 in Polt's favor. A fantastic play